Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Thehotspurnews podcast. Obviously, what can't explain what has happened over the last 22, 23 hours or so. Obviously, the establishment of the European Super League has been signed by 12 clubs, and also our manager, Esl And Mourhino, got sacked about 9 hours ago. Now it's currently 7 in even UK time, 1 p.m. US time. But obviously, today we're joined by Liam, who's from the United States. How you doing?
Just frustrated.
Yeah.
Livid with all. I mean, I've been wanting to cry for the past 24 hours because everything that I love, hopefully, pretty much, but I'm not due to my brain. So.
Yeah, but anyways, in this episode, we're going to be discussing obviously two factors: Mourinho sacking and the European Super League. And that's what we're going to start. We're going to start with the European Super League. This was the first of the news that came out. And if you guys don't know, the European Super League is a brand new breakaway league in which Europe's biggest and most wealthy clubs will be competing in a competition next season. Obviously, this will have an impact on Championship, League One, League Two, the Premier League, and football as a whole. Obviously, the establishment of this league has sparked outrage amongst many fan bases, many social media outlets. And before I'm going to get the thoughts on Josh and Liam, I'm just going to give you guys my thoughts on this establishment first. So what can we take from this? Football has been ruined by 6 wealthy families. In terms of England,
the Cronkies,
6 wealthy families.
The Cronkies, Jesus Perez, the Woodwards, the what's the Liverpool owners? I don't know the names.
Yeah, the Glazers, FSG, and
yeah, they've all ruined.
Yeah. These 6 wealthy families have ruined the game as a whole. They've removed the excitement and the passion from the game. There was this banner that was stated quite a few years ago now: football was created by the poor and stolen by the rich. And yesterday's decision of the establishment of this league has furthermore proved the point that the banner is trying to make. According to these wealthy families, football is all about money anymore. They don't care about the passion. They don't care about the fact that these fans support these clubs. And it's just really, really upsetting to see. Yes, I know this whole idea, it's beneficial for Spurs financially, but as fans as we are right now, we feel like we've been backstabbed. We feel like we've been betrayed as fans. And looking at this, it seems as if Levy doesn't treat us as fans of Tottenham Hotspur. He's treating us like customers. As Spurs fans, we buy a lot of merchandise, we buy season tickets, we buy beers on match day, we buy food and drink, and we just get drunk on the day before. On match day before the game starts. It's really upsetting. And all this money that we've spent since we became Spurs fans, all that money on the home kits every year, the season tickets, the food and drink at match days, it's just for Levy, Joe Lewis and Enoch's benefit. It's just really, really upsetting to see literally all the passion that we've shown. Well, for me, I've supported this club for 16 years. I've gone to so many games. I literally got all my programs sitting here. Give me a second. Okay, I can't be asked to grab that, but I've got so many programs sitting in this one bag, £3 each, just for Levy's benefit. And what's even worse, I know I should be happy because I hate West Ham, but these clubs such as Leicester and West Ham have dreams of qualifying for the Champions League this season, which in my opinion they deserve to. Obviously, West Ham are in 4th right now, or 5th. I'm not exactly sure. I'm pretty certain they're 4th. Chelsea are in 5th, Leicester in 3rd, and Leicester have been very good for the last 4 or 5 seasons. Obviously, they won the league, and we're never going to see that again. No more underdog stories, no more last-minute winners, no more late drama. Literally, it's all been removed because of 6 wealthy families. And the worst thing is, Arsenal and Tottenham have been accepted into this competition. Spurs have been poor the last 2-3 years. Arsenal have been poor the last 10 years. These two clubs over the last, I'd say overall, on an average, 3-4 years. Sorry, not for, I'd say 2-3 years. Have shown that these two clubs are not big sticks whatsoever. Leicester have been very good the last 4 or 5 seasons, but yet the reason why Arsenal and Spurs have been accepted into this competition is for one reason: wealth. Wealth is the only reason, and this establishment of this competition has done nothing but furthermore like increase the gap in wealth between rich and poor clubs, and it therefore furthermore decreases competition. And yeah, and as you can see, my name hashtag no to ESL. Leeds and Liverpool fans are doing protests outside Elland Road. Obviously, they play tonight. Jurgen Klopp has gone against it. His job could potentially be on the line. I don't know. Mourhino's been sacked partly because of it. Maybe we're not entirely sure. But yeah, apparently Spurs fans held a protest outside the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium at 4:30 today. Arsenal fans, Liverpool fans outside Anfield in the Emirates. United fans outside Old Trafford. So yes, like it's just really devastating to see like the passion and the excitement's been removed from the game. But anyway, that's my say. We're now going to move on to let's start with today's guest, Liam. Obviously, Liam's been a fan for what's that, 5-6 years?
6 years.
Yes, 6 years been a fan. Obviously, Spurs have a very big worldwide fan base. So yeah, let's get Liam to say on the Super League. I mean, many fans have like treat it as a negative thing. So Liam, let's have your say.
Not only does it create just so many more issues within the competition of this league, it's almost like they took and they stabbed us in the heart as fans. Like for me, the reason I became a Spurs fan was because at the time, I loved the identity of the club. I loved for what they did for the fan base back in 16-17. And I loved what this club was about. That's why I became a fan. But the Tottenham Hotspur that I fell in love with, it's gone. It's completely gone. And they're losing my support in this completely. I mean, I can no longer say that I'm affiliated with Spurs anymore because I can't support this. I mean, I understand if like some other fans stay because of their families and their history, but as a fan for myself, I cannot stay due to the greed. I am not built that. But what this does to the game is it destroys, like Max said, this destroys the passion. This destroys the game that everyone loves. This was created on the sanctity of one thing: wealth and money. And what is that going to create? It's going to just create more problems. I mean, you want to talk about, yes, UEFA has not been the best. I mean, we all know what happened with the World Cup in Qatar. Yes, it happened. It happens no matter where you go. There's always going to be people looking to flee the system like that. But, I mean, this is another level of just corruption, in my opinion. I mean, it's okay if I'm not saying corrupt great at all when I say this, but to me, it's like you're willing to take all the money of these hardworking fans, of people all around the world who support you, and you're just going to stab them right in the back and use their money that they have given you to create a shit show of a league and a shit show of an event. That is the Super League. It is pathetic. It is wrong. And the game of football must survive. We as fans need to stand up to this. Even if this means we need to ransack the clubs and boycott. I don't care. This is wrong. This is morally wrong.
Yeah, me and Josh, because obviously me and Josh live quite close to London. Like, me and Josh have been to many games ourselves, and right now, hearing the news, like, it just doesn't feel like it anymore. Like, both of us feel like we've just gone to these games for nothing. Like, we've gone to all these Spurs games. Like, I've been to, I'd say over 45 to 50 Spurs games, maybe plus. Like, I've got so many programs sitting beside me in this massive bag, which is so heavy because of all the games I've been to. Like, it just doesn't feel like it anymore. Like, literally all the Spurs shirts I purchased, for example, the Ericsson shirt I got back in 2014, the Gareth Bale shirt that I got out in Spain, the Harry Kane shirt that I got 2 years ago, the Lucas Moura shirt I got. Like, it just doesn't feel like it anymore. Like, it doesn't, like, because the thing is, like, every time I think about these purchases, like, I just feel instant regret. Like, all the food and drink I purchased, like, literally all of this is for Levy's benefit. and the thing is, yeah, like if Levy doesn't support us, like, and to be honest, like I completely respect Liam's decision in terms of not supporting Spurs anymore. I totally respect it, because at the same time, I understand there's because the thing is, yeah, I understand like there's many people who just love this club too much, such as Josh, because obviously Josh is still going to support Spurs. I probably will because of my family and stuff. But at the same time, why should we support this club? Like, why should we support this club if the owners don't respect us as fans? Like, literally, like this goes out to Arsenal fans, Chelsea fans, City, United, and Liverpool fans, as well as us. Stop buying merchandise. Stop buying season tickets. Stop buying food and drink at games, and stop buying beer, and stop buying home and away shirts every single season, because all this money that you're spending is just going to the owners just to satisfy their pockets. Simple as that. Like I know wealth has like made a like I know wealth has made like a really negative impact like this last decade, but like I never thought it'd get to this point ever. Like, it's like I'm genuinely lost for words. I'm still am 22 hours later. Anyways, we're going to move on to Josh. Let him have his say on this European Super.
I mean, there are positives and negatives, and the only positives there are is financially. Football isn't financial. It isn't for money. It isn't for anything. It's built for working class people. That's what it was. And like that, Dano has just described this all. Football's made by the poor, and now it's being taken by the rich. We're becoming, the thing with football is the connection with fans will never ever be the same again. It will turn into like a basketball, or like how basketball are, or how the F1 are. They're just literally no fans because the teams are too good. It's not relatable. Football has always been relatable, and this is just going to take away from it. And I respect Liam's decision. I get why he's doing it, because it's just like, I can understand, because you just don't feel the love anymore because they betrayed us. They knew that like a European Super League was going to get backlash. They knew, because on Sky Sports one of them has literally told them they've done this for financial purposes. They knew there was a backlash. There was going to be a backlash from fans. Like, they knew all of this was going to happen, and they still did it. Like, it's a joke. It's a joke. And like you said, we need to stop buying programs. We need to stop buying tickets. We need to stop buying like beers. We just need to stop doing everything, because it's a joke. It's an absolute joke. And I think if they're not giving us respect, we shouldn't give them respect.
Yeah. So just before we move on to Jose Mourinho, which is the second part, I'm just going to read out a few quotes made by Sir Alex Ferguson, Ander Herrera, Bruno Fernandes, Supporters Trust. I'm going to start with the supporters group of all six clubs, starting off with Liverpool. This is what Liverpool said. Quote, "Embarrassing. As fan representatives, we are appalled and completely oppose this decision. Football is ours, not theirs. Our football club is ours, not theirs." This is what United said. "A Super League based on a closed shop of self-selected wealthy clubs goes against everything football and Manchester United should stand for." This is what Chelsea said. "Our supporters across the world have experienced the ultimate betrayal. This is unforgivable." This is what Man City said. These owners, irrespective of where they come from, seem to think football belongs to them. It doesn't. It belongs to us, the supporters, irrespective of which team we support." This is what Spurs said. The current board is prepared to risk the club's reputation and its future for the current board is prepared to risk the club's reputation and its future in the opportunistic pursuit of greed. And finally, Arsenal said, "This represents the death of everything that football should be about." So as you can see there, like all six supporters of each club really against the decision. And also, I'm just going to quickly get up this quote said by potentially the greatest Premier League manager of all time, Sir Alex Ferguson.
The greatest manager of all time.
Yeah, potentially. I'm just trying to find this, but also I think Jurgen Klopp spoke out again. So yeah, here we go. I'm just going to read quickly what Jurgen Klopp said. "Was I told about this announcement? No. This is about one thing, which is greed. Don't care. As far as I'm concerned, the supporters are my employer. I work every day for them. Let me reiterate, I'm against the Super League. I've demanded a meeting with John face to face. That's what I can say about my future right now." yeah, and finally, we're going to talk. We're going to state what Alex Ferguson said, if I can find it. Looks like I can't at the moment. But also, Ander Herrera said something. And also, yeah, sorry, lads, I can't find the Alex Ferguson comment right now. But also, as we're doing this podcast, Monday Night Football's on right now, and Carragher and Neville both giving their opinions. I mean, yeah, but anyways, I'm just lost for words. But anyways, just to sum up this segment of the podcast, just read my name, #NoToESL, get this thing removed ASAP and bring the game back to reality. But anyways, moving on to the second half of the podcast. Obviously, Tottenham have sacked Jose Mourinho. I mean, this was announced about 10:30 UK time. Obviously, Liam didn't realise this until about 4 or 5 hours after this was announced. But yeah, I'm going to start with Liam for this one. Obviously, Jose Mourinho sacked. 6 days for a cup final. Ryan Mason to be our caretaker manager until June. Crazy stuff. Go on, Liam.
Look, I can understand the firing because of status with the club right now. We're struggling for points, and that I can. But I don't think it's because. I don't think this firing is because of those points right now. I think
it is because they've come out and said that I think it was Mourinho said this was nothing to do with the Super League. My second. Yeah. So he's come out and said it has nothing to do with the Super League.
Quote for that, please show me, but I'm going to state my opinion anyway, if that's all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, go on.
Okay. I generally believe that Jose Mourinho went up to Levy and said, "Fuck you, I'm not going to do this." You have destroyed what football really is. And you have destroyed, and I mean to like other people that are listening to this, yes, I'm American. Yes, I might not know the same things as, or the same passion level as you fans might show who are actually in the stadium day in and day out. But what I do know about this club is that Tottenham will always have a special place in my heart. But for the 6 years that I've been a fan. But anyway, moving back on to Jose. I believe he was fired because he went up to Levy and said, "I don't want to do this. I am going to demand." And I mean, if there is room saying that, because last video I saw was him just getting in his car, and but anyways, I genuine respect for Jose Mourinho because he's a born winner. He's won a trophy at every club he's been to, and too bad he can't do it with us. But I mean, if you want of owner commence, that's fine. But I mean, for a born winner like Jose, I wish he was still the manager. At least wait until the end of the season for something like this, not 6 days for a cup final. But
yeah, I would also agree with parts of that. I think I obviously haven't been able to process it because of all the mad stuff going on outside of our club. But yeah, Mourinho getting sacked, I mean, it was going to come. But I think, I think it was wrong to sack him before the cup final, in my opinion. But we'll get into Mason, obviously, later and what I think about that. But I think it's not generally a whole bad thing in general. But I think for the cup final, I'd rather have Mourinho and a Mason. But I think this is a proper risk because this could either pay off brilliantly for Levy and we could go on an amazing run, win the cup final, or this could go all hells up and we maybe finish bottom half. We don't know.
Yeah, but anyways, I'm going to give you my opinions on this sacking. Overall, mixed emotions. I mean, the positive side is that I don't think Mourinho was the right man to take us forward anyway, in terms of his tactics and like the dodgy substitutions and everything. But also, in my opinion, for me, I think Levy holds responsibility once again, because you saw with Pochettino, we got to the Champions League final in 2019. And how Levy acted in the summer of 2019 just showcases how he only cares about himself. Instead of getting the players that he needed to, instead of getting the players that we needed for us to go and compete for it next year, like Liverpool did, for example, when they lost to Real Madrid in 2018, the board acted. The board acted decisively, got the players they needed, such as Alisson and Keita, etc. And then they won it the following year. What we do, instead of getting the players we needed to compete for next year, Levy decides to only care about himself and spend the money on this.
Can I just say something though? There was a difference. I think with us, it would have been an entirely different rebuild. I think we needed to sell more than we needed to buy that summer, and I think he kept too much deadwood in the club. Like, he could have sold Eriksen for 120 million, and instead he buys him for 20, and there's a pandemic, and that just looks like a horrible deal at the end of the day. He should have sold for Tongan. Possibly Alderweireld is controversial, but yeah, Danny Rose, like players like that.
Yeah, but even so, I think Levy has shown once again that he's not passionate about making this club the best it can be. Like, all he wants to do is satisfy his pockets. Like, we've already discussed this about the whole Super League situation that we've already discussed earlier on the podcast. But either way, but anyways, like, another negative, and it's the final thing I'm going to talk about on the sacking, is the timing. Like, I just don't understand how you're sacking one of the most decorated managers, in football history, 6 days before a good chance to win our first trophy in 13 years. And if anything, like, silverware is the one thing that has prevented us. Silverware is the one thing that has prevented us from becoming one of Europe's biggest and best clubs, and that was the whole point of the stadium. Like Levy said, the whole point of the stadium is to make us a big European giant. We go in the stadium and we get slapped up 7-2 by Bayern Munich. We did the exact same thing as Arsenal with the Emirates. We go there to compete, and we end up getting slapped up and torn a shred by a big side.
Do you know what?
And therefore,
I have a prediction. There's a lot of things linking to it. In 2013, he sold Bale. He got Jesus Perez, and then he announced they had a good relationship with Real Madrid. 2009, he began to build the stadium. I think maybe what might have happened is, when we sold Bale, he might have found out something with the ESL, and now he's got into it. And I think mainly, and you're going to go ballistic about this, but maybe getting Pochettino wasn't actually a good thing for now, because maybe we wouldn't be at the point where we would be included into the Super League. I can see Liam's face. Maybe we wouldn't be as big as a club as we are, and we'd still be in the Premier League.
Yeah, maybe.
It's a controversial thing, but I kind of
Josh,
believe it.
I understand, but like, elaborate on your point. Like, what are you trying to like state here?
I'm trying to say where we've got to as a big club, and why we're here, and why we're in the Super League. Maybe Pochettino has given Levy an excuse to join this Super League because of how well we did.
Okay.
Because I don't think if we'd stayed a 6th or 5th place team for years and years, do you really think they would have allowed us into the Super League? I don't think they would have.
I think Pochettino, like himself, did so much for the club in terms of its progression towards the Super League.
His fault, but he gave Levy an excuse to get in.
Yeah, to be honest, I kind of agree. Like, I get what you're saying, because in my opinion, like, Poch sugarcoated the ability of the players of the squad. Yeah. And in my opinion, like, Poch also took us from a mid-table side to a title competing side, which furthermore boosted our for me, it furthermore boosted our ego, should we say? And Portugal also took us to the Champions League final, which could therefore may have like played a role in us going into the Super League.
Rather than say to us, include us. We made the Champions League final. We've consistently finished top 4 in the Premier League. I know we haven't won anything, but we've consistently done all of this stuff. So we are one of the best sides in Europe, so we deserve to be in there. That's probably what he said to them.
I can see where you're coming from, yeah. But anyways, the last point I want to make on Mourhino before we move on to the very final part, which is Ryan Mason obviously going to take over. But anyways, and his final part on Mourhino, like Liam said, like I fully respect his decision about the whole Super League thing. Like he wants the football to be normality, which is passion, full of excitement, full of drama, which is why the game exists, obviously. And the fact that these six wealthy families are just rubbing it in, it's just really upsetting to see. Yeah, but anyways, moving on to the very final part of the podcast. I wish him the best of luck to Jose Mourinho. Like I fully respect him as a manager. But anyways, moving on to the final part. Ryan Mason. What a legend. I mean, obviously, he's got a big job. There's rumours about Chris Powell joining with him as well. And first game in Southampton, Wednesday night, and then the Carabao Cup final against City on Sunday. So I'll start with Josh on this one. So what can you expect from Ryan Mason?
And I know people are going to be surprised. I think this is a positive in a way. I mean, Ryan Mason was a bit like a Harry Winks, wasn't he? He was like a Spurs boy, academy, and then he obviously that thing that ended his career, that was horrible. And now he's 3 years on, he's coaching Tottenham to their first cup final in years, and he could be winning the cup. And I mean, I think if I've seen a stat, which is quite a big thing, if he gets to manage against Southampton, he'll become the youngest ever Premier League manager.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he will.
Quite a big thing. And you have to remember, he's quite well known around the club because a lot of those players actually played with him. I think Kane, Lloris, Alderweireld, Dyer, Davis, who else? Kane, Lamella. All these players played with Mason, so they're going to know him quite well. And I think we can get a boost out of this. And I think with Chris Powell coming along, I think that's going to help us tactically, in a way. I think that will give us a better tactical approach. And I think maybe Dele Alli gets a chance.
Yeah, because Ryan Mason have very good like connections with Dele Alli, and also Gareth Bale maybe could start more. So therefore, like we could potentially like see to play Dele more frequently. Yeah, but you're all right. Like Ryan Mason has good connections with the club as a whole. Like, obviously, like I think recently he was like coaching the youth team. I'm not sure what age group it was, but yeah, like Ryan Mason was coaching like the youth side of the club. Yeah, but anyways, move on to Liam. Have his thoughts on Ryan Mason being appointed.
No, I think Liam's gone. Just check with him later. But yeah, I think it will give us a boost. I think maybe top 4 might be on. Maybe. Probably not, but still maybe. It's not possible. Although it means absolutely nothing, it's like impossible. I think it's just nice to see us win a couple games, I guess. But ain't no real. Let's be real. Ryan Mason literally can sit on the couch and eat Cheerios and like become the fattest man in the world. Go onto the touchline, absolutely nothing, because we're not going to be in here anymore, are we?
Liam, we just want to get your thoughts on Ryan Mason before we end the podcast.
Mason. I mean, I don't really know much about Ryan Mason as, like, I don't know. Yeah, I really don't know much.
Should we explain to Liam then? So, he basically was a Tottenham player. He came through the academy. So, he basically was like our version of Winks. And then we sold him, I think, to Hull in 16-17. And he got that horrific injury in that game. And he retired. And now he's under 23 coach at Tottenham. But obviously today, he's been promoted to interim coach with Chris Powell. And
I did know.
Played with a couple of players before. He's actually younger than Lloris, which is mad, and Alderweireld.
I did actually know he was a player, but I didn't know like he was a Tottenham Academy player or anything like that. So I kind of joined late when a lot of these old players left, like Mason himself. So but I mean,
me and Josh were saying that Mason has good like connections with like Dele Alli and players that like he has played with before. Therefore, that could lead to more like togetherness. Who knows? But I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Opinion on Dele Alli. You guys already know.
I think if Dele Alli works in a better system, I think he can be a better player. He just needs the confidence from the coach, and I think he needs to play in the right position because we saw on the pitch near the end. Let's be real, he wasn't playing in his best position. Like Dele Alli is more of a second striker. That's his best position. He's not an attacking midfielder. He's not a central midfielder. He's a second striker.
Yeah.
Like that's when he was scoring 18 goals in a season. Like he's got. I think Dele Alli is more of a striker than he is a midfielder. Because he's got a very good finish on him. And I think maybe he could be like a poacher. If Kane was to leave, I'm not saying this, but he could become like a second striker if we wanted to play a 2-striker formation with someone else.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But anyways, people, that has been it. It's been episode 3 of the Hotspur News podcast. Obviously today we discussed. Well, today we discussed technically the decline in football. Pretty much, and also Mourinho's sacking. But anyways, thanks again for joining us, and thank you guys for watching. Subscribe to the channel. On the road to 2K followers on Instagram. We're getting we're starting to increase the followers more rapidly now. So thank you guys for the support. Appreciate it as always. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.